Brazil's state-controlled oil producer Petrobras is planning the biggest share sale the Western Hemisphere has seen in at least a decade. I spoke with Petrobras' CEO, Sergio Gabrielli, yesterday and asked him, given the market volatility, why he's not considering waiting, given that we've seen the biggest surge in 20 years when you look at the VIX.
We think that we have a good story. We think that we have a good plan. We think that we can offer good possibility for return in a safe project. And we think that if the crisis is as it is now, we can go on. If it goes deeper and spread over more than it's now, we have to consider it. But right now, we think that it's possible to do the transaction.
Why didn't Petrobras pull the trigger on the share sale back when you were trading at, what, $50 a share, when you looked at the price of the ADR?
Because at that time, we didn't have a clear idea of what's going to happen later on, and we didn't have the possibility to get 5 billion barrels of rights for exploration that we may have right now. And 5 billion of barrels for production is something that any oil company would be eager to have.
What kind of investor interest have you seen so far? Where is it coming from?
Different. We have globals, we have index investors, we have long-term investment, we have hedge funds, we have private equity, we had oil companies, suppliers, you name it.
Sovereign wealth funds?
Some sovereign wealth funds.
There's a lot of buzz about the Qataris being quite interested in doing business in Brazil.
Yes.
Is there truth to that?
Well, it's different. I don't know. I cannot nominate any of them.
What are you hoping to do with the cash that you raise when the share sale does happen?
We have an investment plan of $200 to $220 billion from now to 2014. Mm-hmm. This is a big investment. And we think that we are going to raise an amount of money that can balance in a better position the ratio of debt to equity that we have. Our net debt to equity ratio right now is 32%. We want to reduce that to be in the average between 25 and 35. And we think that the capitalization that we are planning is not for cash balance. It's more for a structure of capital to make a more leverageable and a better position for us whenever we need to go to the fixed income market.
So if oil continues to trade in the $70 a barrel and below range, will you still have that same incentive to deploy what you do raise?
Yes, we are working with a range between $65 and $85 a barrel, and we don't see why the price is going to be falling below those numbers and above, much above 85.
65 is the floor you would expect.
Yes.
Okay. When you look at the question of the presidential elections and in the fall, there's questions there because Petrobras does have a significant government-owned stake in there and influence. What is the change in administration going to mean? I mean, what can you say to investors to reassure them that the strategy of the company is not going to be affected?
The government always can redirect and redefine the strategy of the company. However, it's important to remember that Petrobras has 53 years. And in those 53 years, the Petrobras, the company, passed through different types of government. And the strategy is a long-term strategy. Usually, you cannot change long-term strategy in the short run. Mm-hmm. We may have some adjustments, but I doubt that we are going to have a big U-turn of the strategy, because really projects are going on, big projects, and they are long-term projects of 7-8 years project.
We just had an interview with Brazilian billionaire Ike Batista, but he said something in particular I want to ask you to weigh in on. He said up until now, people thought there was only Petrobras, one big government-controlled entity, and they didn't like that structure. But here, we're a private company. He's setting himself up as an alternative to Petrobras. It sounds like you've got competition.
Oh, that's good. I think that's a big competition. And they have to begin production because they are in the exploratory phase. They are trying to find, they are going to get results in the exploratory finds, but they must begin production, and I think that's good to have competition.
So you think there's still appetite for more interest American companies or investors in more than one oil company?
And actually, we are doing a very big job trying to attract not only oil companies, but service providers and suppliers of goods and services. And we are going to have a very big investment program that means that we are going to buy products, and we want them, most of these products has to be built in Brazil.